What's up, everybody? What is up? It is your girl EJ, and I am back. Got my girls with me. We are here to talk about Diarra from Detroit. But y'all already know, before we go ahead and jump into this, let's go ahead and jump into this intro. How the fuck do we supposed to keep peace? All on the niggas' mind, murking and doing time. It's so cold, it's so cold, so. What's up, y'all? I couldn't help it. I had to go back and get it. Now, y'all, Diarra from Detroit. Yeah, this my stuff right here. I am loving this show so far. I am all the way engaged in it, all the way in tune. How was y'all feeling about this particular episode? I ain't gonna lie, I was crying on this episode, y'all. They had me crying at the beginning. I was feeling bad for Diarra. How was y'all feeling? Tika, you start there, Tamika.
Okay, yeah, I had a lot of moments for Diarra because it's like she was again on another emotional roller coaster. But the fact that like she really needed money but could not turn that wedding ring into the pawn shop, and just the struggle of the whole thing, and all, and I, think about what she was feeling as she like this is the end if she was to, particularly turn that ring in. So I enjoyed the episode. It was again an emotional roller coaster, but I'm like, girl, Diarra, you in some deep ish again for another week. You in some deep ish, so I was here for it. It's got me waiting for the next episode.
Okay, that part. What about you, Tamika?
Um, there was parts that I felt sorry for her. There was parts I was cursing her out and just getting aggravated and frustrated and saying, "Really, is this something that we would do?" There was times I was embarrassed, so it definitely was a roller coaster and different emotions. And I think it was like two parts that I was confused on. Maybe y'all can help me out when we get there, but yeah. I want to know what's the truth first. I really do. And we did get some answers, and then I feel like we get more damn questions with the answers. So yeah.
That is what's up. Absolutely. What's up to the chat, y'all? Thank y'all so much for tuning in and coming to hang out with us while we talk about DR from Detroit. Hola, right back at you, Queen. Hey, Daria. Daria and Diarra, boy, I'm telling you, they like going like this for me right now. Hey, Daria, we appreciate you coming through. Shayna, appreciate you. Hey, Miss Candy Love, and happy birthday to you, girl.
Happy
Happy
birthday,
birthday,
Candy
Candy!
Lip.
It's Candy Day, y'all. It's Candy Day.
Okay,
Yes.
that part. All right, y'all. So we gotta get into it. Oh, hold on. I was making sure my pictures was going and I forgot to pull it back. So, like we talked about, when the episode kind of opens up, Diarra is going through it. She doesn't want to give up this wedding ring, y'all. And she starts to reminisce about the happier times, about
Mm-hmm.
her and Swa. And it was, I don't know, I guess I just felt so emotional just looking at it because it just felt so real. Like, that's a real thing. Like, it feels so final if you give up
Mm-hmm.
something like that. Like, it's amazing how that ring holds so much power, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but she
Of
was
what it represents, rather.
right, yeah, because she's still very much, even though she is walking away from her marriage, she's very much still in her marriage. She's still kind of undecided to stay or to go. So giving up that ring would definitely mean it's something final for her.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. And it's so funny because I know, like, I get that why, and even she says it at some point that everybody had their faults in the marriage. She
Mm-hmm.
said it in so many words, like she has a part, he has a part, like everybody has a part. But low key, as you get more and more clips of them together, sometimes I'm like, dang, I wish they could have worked it out. Like, because I mean, you just see this different side of her too. But I don't know, y'all. I be torn sometimes with Swab. It might be the fact that I be looking at him like Morris Chestnut and not like Swab. That could be the problem, but I don't know.
Yeah,
And
So
they do have such great chemistry when they on screen together. And even though you hear these little bits and pieces of what seem to end up splitting them apart, it doesn't really sound like it's not something that if they really sat down and communicated and wanted to be able to make it work, it doesn't seem like it's not something that is, salvageable, like that they wouldn't be able to fix. I don't know.
that's kind of what I was feeling. Like that's the thing. Like it feels like it's somewhere down the line. It feels like it's fixable. Like
Hmm.
if they really just wanted to, because it really feels like there was a lack of communication, and
Right.
then there was a jump. Like just let me just go to this extreme. So I don't know.
Hmm.
But I guess we shall see. So anyway,
Hmm.
while she's sitting there, she's gonna see this guy, and we do get some answers as to who he is,
Hmm.
and we'll talk about that a little bit later. So Aja's getting ready for her big event, and Aja, everything is extra with her. But this was the part for me where when she was crying, y'all, I was crying. Tika, kind of break down this scene of what was going on, and let the people know what was happening.
okay. Yeah, she was just very, very emotional. She sat down, she confided in Aja, let her know that she tried to pawn her wedding ring and she just couldn't do it. And so then she finally broke it down like, girl, I got some money issues. And can you just loan me something until my next payday? So she was very transparent with Aja. She didn't hold anything back. And her girl Aja had her back. She was like, "Girl, I got you. You don't have to worry about it."
Absolutely. Which I love their friendship. Like I just love their friendship. I just think that they are kind of yin and yang, but they just mix so well together. But then we got another friend that's going to pop up who was not really feeling the fact that that she said I'm out. Tamika, talk about this scene and kind of break it down and as to what was going on.
Um, I mean, I feel like she really, really is counting on this daggone money. So you telling her that you out is not gonna work. And plus, it's like we talked about before, kind of giving her something to do. Having her own way and feeling like she's having this reconnection with Daria. It's like you was going on hard about this before. So how you saying you don't want to do it anymore? But I also understand why Daria is saying that, and I'm kind of like leaning towards her, like, girl, yeah, now you finally getting some sense because there's a lot going on with this situation, and a lot more problems coming with it that I don't even think y'all understand the full effect of it yet.
That part, okay, exactly. But Moni really want her to like you said, is she's really counting on this money trying to get Roman
Hmm.
out from under the situation that he's in, and then he just she pulls her right back on into it. So here we are back into trying to figure out what was going on, but then she's going to get a visitor. And lo and behold, Tika, it is Mr. He ghosted you, you know, and now he wants to do some police work. How did you feel about this scene right here?
I was like a day late, a dollar short. Like now, why you pulling up on the Aria? Like why? Like when she came to you, asked for your help, you act like you couldn't help her. You act like you had no information for her. Now all of a sudden you come and talking about the Russian and the unalive body, and now you want to have questions for Diarra. Diarra. I was just like, please hurry up and get out the door. Like leave. Don't try to arrest my girl. Just leave her alone. She came to you for help. You acted as if you weren't as concerned. So now just leave her alone. Be coming in talking about the Russians and all of that, all that situation.
And then
So
threaten her too. Just
right, right.
straight
Just
up
like the Popo
threaten.
do. They gonna try to threaten you to get you to quote unquote snitch.
Okay, let me see if I had it.
Currently, I got no good suspects, but there is a person of interest.
Really? Who?
You. If I start digging, and I place you at that club, it's gonna be a real problem for you.
Okay. Now, Tamika, he says it's going to be a real problem for her if she can place her at the club because, of course, the Russian got there. But it also is very coincidental that she came there to him talking about this, and she's there at the place and the guy gets got. So I get why he's saying it, but to me it's like, dude, she came to you with information and you just brushed her off. Like, did you feel anything different than what we said, or what was your thoughts?
Yeah, pretty much similar. I mean, I'm like, you the one that dropped the ball. She did come, and I mean, he admits, like, oh, when you first came in telling us about this, basically, I just thought you was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, wasn't paying you any mind. But now that same guy ends up, cold and gone. And now speak now or forever hold your peace. You need to tell me anything you know, and if I find out, later, which I mean, she was right there when it happened, so it's like more than likely he is gonna find that out. I just didn't understand them. Like, instead of you actually coming as if you're trying to help and find out if there's any other information she can tell you, you came in a way that's like, oh, you're gonna be going down for this. You're the person of interest. I'm like, dude, huh? You was the one that was asleep on the damn job. But I don't know, because then when we find out some other stuff later, it's like, is he really coming near about the job?
Okay. This is getting interesting, to say the least. So, all right. So as we get through, let me get past that part. So they find a camera, and so now we're kind of going on this mission to figure out where the photos are, and that's what Moni's job is going to be, is to go and find this. So now she's back in it. Now this is probably the first time, like, initially, y'all, I never really read the signs that Danger was kind of into Moni. I don't know if I just wanted to miss it or what, but did y'all pick up on that initially? Tika, start with you.
I'm always looking for chemistry in between two sexy people. And Danger, it just seemed as if they had a past. I don't know if it was a school crush, or you saw me, I noticed you, but because of the life you were living, I couldn't really give you that attention. But I was, I won't say directly I saw it, but I'll say I was hoping there was something, because it's like the tension was a little bit in the room. She was easy. It was like easy for her to be able to go to him and tell him when things weren't quite right, or how she was feeling about something. So I mean, I'm not mad at it. Go Diarra, get you some more Ambien. Get you a different type of Ambien. Maybe that's all you need anyway.
That part. Not Tika. Tamika, what was your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, there's a few scenes they had together. I remember the one when she went over there and went off about the fish, and then he came outside like, I'm gonna let you fly with this one. It always felt like he kind of looks at her a little bit longer than she looked at him. Like, I didn't necessarily see it coming back from her, but I felt like I saw it coming back from him. And then when this episode, I was like, okay, yeah. Like,
Exactly. I was like, okay. So now we do see that somebody has been following her. I didn't put the picture in there, but we know that somebody's been following her because they're right there. But let's move on to this scene, because I thought this was so funny. Let me see if I have it. Nah, I guess I didn't put that one in there. But anyway, basically it's the moment where she's trying to get the information, and it was a little comedic relief, because dude is like, she's like, I'll let you, hold on, let me see if I think I got it in here. Give me a second. Anyway, Tika, talk about that scene while I try to see if I can find it in here.
Girl, she had me laughing. She was willing to pay for with the touch of a booty. All he wanted was a touch of her booty to give her the information that she was looking for, looking at the just trying to figure out, saw some clues through those pictures from that camera that he had taken. So again, the payment was going to be for him to be able to rub on her booty. Oh, dirty old bastard. I'm sorry, y'all, but it cracked me up. It cracked me up.
It was so funny. I thought I had put it in there, but I guess I did. I guess I didn't. But yeah, that was so hilarious to me. But what was even more interesting is that there's going to be another photo. So this photo right here, Tamika, talk about this right here. What you think about this? Do you feel like Chris was into her too? Because it feels like to me that he might have been into her just like she was into him.
I guess so. Child, I didn't know one night stands get this serious, but I guess so. I was like, not him holding the picture and getting it framed, Of course, I was waiting to see what exactly the picture was. Once the guy from the Photoshop was like, "Yeah, he finally had got laid and met him somebody, and he really must have been into her because he wanted this framed." I'm like, "Really?" So of course, that made her feel good. Like, okay, so I'm not just in to him, he's into me too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. They was just doing the most. So now we know that they've kind of figured out that he was going to be meeting someone. Now, earlier when she was talking to Danger, she wanted him to find out she wanted him to help with the Roman situation, try to help with the people that done took over his whatever he got going on. I don't know what the heck Roman got going on. But anyway, she wanted to see if he could help. So he goes to see this lady, Velvet, I believe is her name, if I'm not mistaken, and wants her to ease up off of Roman. So did y'all ever for like a second think that maybe Danger is maybe into has something to do with this other situation in any way? Did you get any of those vibes from this conversation right here, or what vibes did you get? Tamika, start with you in
This
this.
is part of the conversation where I got confused, to be honest with you. I understood, like, first he seemed like he didn't want to be bothered. He was saying like, that's where I used to hang with them. I'm independent, as far as the conversation when Daria's first asking him for the help, and she's like, all right, never mind. And then of course he picks up the phone and makes the call. And then obviously, Velvet or whatever her name was telling him like, if I don't want you to be independent no more, you won't be. You and your boys will be pulled back in. And then she started saying things that she did for him in the past. And I got all of that part. But the part with Moni's husband in the shop and then the guy that's missing, I was a little lost. I'm like, did I miss some things before? And I watched it. I was trying to understand like what exactly was happening here.
Well, I didn't catch the dude's name, but I think, but don't hold me to this one, but I think it's Big Boy that had been following.
That's what I was thinking once we got to the end.
That's
So
who I think it was, because I think old girl says his name when she gives him the license information for it, but
mm-hmm.
I was too lazy to go back and look and see if she did, but I think that's when she says his name, and so I'm gonna go back and look at that though, because I do need to put that part together, but I think that's who it is.
Yeah, because if he's connected with him and he was looking at Daria, then it's possible that Danger is in the mix of it some kind of way, but I don't know which way it is. It definitely seemed like it's more to it than, what we seeing, because y'all know they're giving us the bits and the pieces and throwing us off with some things and then circling back to it. So I was like, did I miss something? I was definitely trying to put that part together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was hoping Danger wasn't really connected. Maybe he's only connected because he's a quote unquote street dude. Maybe that's why,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe they know that he knows a lot of people that he could actually go to and be like, "Hey, can you calm down this situation?" Because he's possibly respected. But again, I could be wrong too, because Velvet Red Crush Wig was just going in, letting him know I did X, Y, and Z for you, and it is what it is. It stands. So Moni's husband, man, he's gotten himself in some mess, and it could be that classic case of you got to pay us a tax to be able to
Mm-hmm.
run your business, and now he's probably in running behind in those payments, and they're
Mm-hmm.
trying to come at him even steeper by doing more dirt within his shop. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Mm-mm.
I sure get off the mic.
Leave that baby alone. She said she got something to say. Okay, so We gonna figure that part out. We gonna figure out if dude's name is Tony, Troy, whatever it is, because it starts with a T. I just can't think of it right now. But if that is his name, then that's the guy that they're talking about, which means that Danger could know something. Maybe he may not be directly involved, but could be indirectly involved. So, how was y'all feeling about this dress, though?
She was working that. I said, "Come through, come through." And Francois was, he definitely peeped it. He was looking.
Okay.
Listen, I was here for the Little Red Riding Hood outfit. Had the little hood on there, had the extreme V-neck. I'm like, okay, Diarra, we finally get to see you kind of dressed up a little bit more, the high class, sexy with it, and then there was a lot of people that was gonna be in the room that even though her mind wasn't there, it's like, girl, I'm coming dressed to impress. First impression is the last impression. You never know who you're gonna run into. So I was definitely here for the outfit. Plus it looks like it's purple, and purple is in my genre of favorite colors, so I was here for it. If I had the body, I would rock it.
Okay, it is very, very cute. So the guy's name is Tank. I went back and looked at
Tank,
it.
yeah.
So, and now I gotta figure out what she said this dude name was, because she said a name that started with a T too, but I really honestly I forgot. But thank goodness for, what do you call that, captions, where you can read whatever it is, the captions, because that's what I'll be going back and looking at. But
Right.
yeah, so she was definitely working this dress. I love this whole outfit. This party definitely was a vibe. We see that, she kind of working like I guess she's kind of dating dude. She did say Tank. Okay, Miss Kira. Hey, Miss Kira. So she did say Tank. So that is the dude that we looking for, and we all know where he's at. So so now that makes more sense to me. Okay, so I can't think of what his name is, but the ball player, she's there with him, and she's kind of filling him out for her, like friends do, filling him out with her extra self. But she says that she likes him, so we shall see. So let me see. All right, so Diarra is trying to put everything together, and she notices inside of the pictures that it looks like he's planning something. Like whatever he's doing, it looks like he's creating some kind of escape route. So now she got to leave because she can't give her speech. She got to leave so that she can go try to be at the rendezvous. Like she just got a lot going on, to be messing up this makeup the way she did. So there's that. And she tells her boy to, if she don't make it back, to stall for her. So talk about what vibe was you getting from this when you saw Chris doing all of this, Tamika? Like, what'd you think? Because I still am not 100% on this dude yet.
Yeah, I'm definitely not 100% on him. Like I said, when we get them answers, we get more questions. It's like, okay, he was surveilling all this stuff, taking pictures and stuff, setting up, traps and all this other kind of stuff, having a rendezvous. And I was stressed out during the time when Zaria starts looking at the pictures and then saying, hold it down for me, I'm gonna be back. I'm like, girl, you doing too much, because I wanted to make sure that she was gonna be there for her friend and be able to give the speech. And I'm like, you going into this, you don't know what the heck you going into. So they was running my blood pressure up with this whole part. I was just like, and then having Moni waiting there in the car by herself, all of that was stressing me out. So yeah, I just want to know, like, who was he trying to meet, who's gonna be showing up at this spot. And that's where I was at.
Okay. Now, Tika, meanwhile, we got Aja, who's going through her own thing. She's trying to get on this list, and she needs his help in order to get on the list. But he wants to know what she's, what is she gonna do? Like, how is she gonna give back? And she kind of just looking like, God dang, like she don't know what to say. She was kind of just looking like she had S on her face. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But anyway, nevertheless, we run into this guy again, which we know is the guy from the club, and his thing was popping up a lot. So I feel like this is where he's going to come into play with the cop. So what do you think about that, Tika? Do you think that this guy is about to be a witness that's going to be the person who puts her in the club?
hopefully, if he's rocking with Mr. T, he won't be so quick to give up Diarra. Hopefully, I mean, and then it's also so convenient that he's almost everywhere. Hush, girl. He's almost everywhere. It's like so convenient. He is a witness, but if that's the case, he could be considered a part of it as well. But I don't know. I'm hoping he doesn't. Maybe the relationship, because he's definitely feeling T. He's definitely feeling T. So maybe that nature of that relationship will kind of prevent him from being so quick to say or name names, i.e. Diarra.
Exactly. But who knows? Because Mr. T like his one night stand, so he made an exception for his girl. So meanwhile, Tamika, we got old girl done brought herself. Now this is where I started getting on edge. I'm like, why are we getting out the car? Why are we going in this building? We do not know
That
what's in this
aggravated
building.
me. It would be no way I'm walking in there in no dark ass abandoned building. I'm sorry, child. Mm-mm.
Okay.
I would be
I'm just
worried about the rats. I'd be worried about who the hell else is in there. But Daria, she different.
Yeah, no running shoes, no nothing. Just there, high heels and everything, ready for whatever.
Okay, and the way that she always gets straight to the point, it's the same way she did with the dude from last week, just straight to the point. Like you don't even warm them up or anything, you just go straight in. And
Right.
I'm like, oh my God, Diarra. I just be feeling for her because like I just don't know what's gonna go on. Now she tells Diarra that she doesn't know who Chris is and that pretty much Chris was blackmailing her, and that's who he is. So now we get somebody who kind of confirms that whether it's true or not, but she's confirming that Chris may not be who she thinks he is, and that date that they had might have just kind of been a setup to do what he needed to do to blackmail her. What were your thoughts about that, Tamika?
Yeah, she basically told her, "You got bad taste in men, girl. You don't know who the hell you dealing with." And it was funny because they obviously was having two different conversations, but talking about the same person. Daria is lost as hell. Like, what are we talking about here? And she's over here at first thinking that she's somebody that he sent there in his place. Like, I thought he was gonna be man enough to show up for himself. So it was kind of funny because they both was expecting, well, Daria really didn't know what to expect. She's trying to figure out who she is, but they both really didn't, know who each other was and what was happening. And then of course we got the two guys coming up, and then she made me laugh when she took out the phone and took a picture of her. She like, girl, I could take a picture of you too. And I'm like, Dad, that's the last thing you want is for her to be having your damn picture, girl. It was just too much with this whole
But I like Diarra's ability for total recall. Like even after she saw her face, then it's like it takes us back to the moment where she actually saw this lady. So I love that they gave us that moment because she's like, dang. And then she also sees where Chris drops that envelope or that piece of paper in this lady's purse. So it's like now I'm sure she's questioning to the very end.
Yeah, though I don't always agree. I'm sorry. I was going to say, although I don't always agree with her tactics, because like Miss Kira said in the chat, she's definitely not subtle. I do like how they always show, like, even if it's not something instant, her mind goes back to things and she picks up things that she may not have really paid that much attention to previously. I like that aspect of it.
Yeah, like she did with the little girl when she didn't pay attention to her hair and then it all started coming back to her. Yeah, those moments are always I like that about this because nothing goes unanswered for a long time. Like something comes, like you get bits and pieces of each thing, and you're like, oh, okay, that. So I like that. And then they had to get their boogie on, girl, because two men come up behind and it just get crazy, and then they gotta go. And she thought about Chris's plan, like he had an escape route. And so I was like,
and
okay,
even how she could remember the pictures and know which way to go. Because, baby, I probably wouldn't have not been remembering nothing. I'd have just been trying to get back to the door that I left out of. She over here jumped, duck.
Okay, that part. And then they are actually firing shots. Like they shooting at them.
Yeah.
Like this got crazy. Like now
Hmm.
I'm like, oh my goodness, now you in danger. Like, come on now. Now I know you're not gonna keep going with this. Then we get
Right.
this guy and we finally find out who he is, Tikaboo. Talk
Right.
about what the revelation we find out about this guy in the car.
Well, we find out that he was the cop that wasn't he like the cop that worked the kidnapping or the missing child case.
Mm-hmm.
He said he had a
Hmm.
lot of sleepless nights, and he was trying to, he had started back drinking because he been casing Diarra as well, because she mentioned his name. So
Hmm.
clearly now at this point, now that we know that this guy was a cop, I'm thinking that the cop at the police station was the one that called him and let him know that someone was maybe asking about Deontay. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so now he's engulfed in it. But I'm like, girl, jump in the car. You safer with him at this moment. Jump in the car because you got Blicky Pops about to follow you in that nice little outfit. So just go
Hmm.
on and get in the car, and then if it ain't right at the end, just jump on out and tuck and roll. That's all I can say.
That
But
part.
yeah, we definitely got some answers as to who this guy is. So
Yeah, because it
Yeah.
was definitely was wondering who he was, and it was like, he following her all around. I like this actor. He's been in a lot of things, but one of the recent things I remember him from is Dexter. That was my show, even though it ended horribly.
oh yeah, that
Oh
was my
man.
show too. That was
Hmm.
Never got to finish Dexter, and I keep saying I'm gonna go back and finish it, but I don't know. I hate a bad ending. But yeah, so Tika, I agree with you. I think that that's who the cop was calling, and
Hmm.
so that's probably what got him because she called him and said, "Hey, this chick," and then of course it's not like they don't know who she is because the brother works. I mean, it was easy to know who she was. So
right.
um and that's how he gets back involved in this, and that's why he's following her and kind of telling her, trying to figure out what she knows, because
Hmm.
sometimes I guess I ain't never been a cop, I don't really know any, but I'm sure that there are those cases that they just can't let go, the ones that they can't solve. It might not be all of them, but I bet you there's that one that really as a detective might stick with you.
Hmm.
This just sounds like that one.
Right.
Yeah,
Especially
in
when
this
it's
case,
involving
I'm
kids.
sorry.
I was just gonna say, especially with when it's involving kids, cold cases like that tend to
Hmm.
they really do affect police officers, investigators, detectives. They really do. So yeah, he's all in, all over again.
Now, y'all, I ain't even gonna hold y'all on this one. I forgot who he said she was. I literally forgot it. I was like, man, I meant to go back and figure it out, but I forgot who he tells her that she is. Do y'all remember?
I forgot her name, but I know he said that she was connected with something with a V. I'm assuming that's the Greek gang, mobsters rather. And Moni said that sounded like something you get a prescription for. So he was like, "Yeah, the mob fixer basically is what her job is." So
Yeah, yeah.
you don't want to get mixed in with her. You don't want to get mixed in with none of them. And then he even mentioned, like, oh, you believe that phony report? They blacked that out. That's not what all was actually in there. So it's like this seems to be going higher and higher up, more and more people involved. It's not just your typical case.
Absolutely not. Okay, Miss Kira said
Goldie.
it's
Okay,
gold.
Miss Kira.
I knew it was something like that. I couldn't think of it. Miss
Mm,
Kira coming through with the facts with the names, because shoot, I don't. Sometimes I'll be forgetting these names. But yeah, so now we getting even more deeper, like we're
mhm.
we're even more into it. So the fact that well, we'll talk about that here in just a second. So I love Diarra because she like, look, can you drop me off though? And they talking about his car and how he would have the rating. I said, y'all are doing too much.
Called
And
this car
then
dirty and everything.
Yes.
okay, that part. Okay, so it's time for the speech, y'all, but she still haven't made it there for the speech yet. But that's when we got our friend. It's good to have friends like this. got friends like that. I love this rendition now. It's so funny because I accidentally ran into that song before, like years ago. I had never heard it. I mean, of course, I probably would never hear it. I'm not from Detroit, but um, somebody had sent it and they kept saying, because we always call Dallas the D, and I was like, that ain't that. I was like, that ain't from Dallas, because they got on boots and it looked like it got snow on the ground. We ain't got that here. And then, that's when I realized they were talking about Detroit. So that's why I put that clip in it earlier, because that's the original person who made the song. So Detroit's cult classic. So, but I love his rendition of it. It's really cute, actually. So
At first, I was like, he bringing the hood to this classy event. But then once everybody else in the audience started vibing with it, I was like, okay, clearly the people in Detroit know what this song is about. So
Yes, because at
then,
first I was like, "Oh my god," but everybody seemed like they was enjoying it. And then even when the DJ added the music and he kind of smiled at him, like, and then he started getting even more loose. I was like, "Okay," and
yeah, this
Aja
is
looked like she was scared too at first.
that's one of their anthems,
Yeah.
I guess you want to
Hmm.
call it, or whatever. So I just thought that was interesting because I don't know, it was. And if you ever have time, y'all can go look at the whole thing. They say it's called in the D.
I remember that song, but I just was like, "Really? Is this what you know?"
Yeah, and
And
he
because it looked like uppity type people in there, but I guess they was
Mhm.
like, "Hey, we could get loose now."
but it
Okay.
was the riffs and the all the notes he was hitting. That's what really did it for me. Cause I don't
Yes.
know the DJ, but he was riffing it. I was like, okay, then T, I didn't know you had it in you like that.
Hmm.
So I was here for that extra display of talent.
That part, I was
Yes.
like, "Oh," I said, "Look at him sounding good with a T."
Hmm.
Okay. Then we got our girl. She gets in there, y'all. She looking a hot mess, but she coming through for her girl. She still look good to me, but we saw her from earlier, and then now we got the makeup is done. Hair is still cute, but she just looked like she just went through some stuff, pretty much. And
Right.
then her speech is kind of shaky at first, and Swad looked like he about to try to come save her, and she give him the what you think about this speech that she gave? Because clearly she's talking to two different people. You know what I'm saying in the speech. But what were your thoughts on the speech, Tika? And then Tamika, you let me know what you think.
I felt like her speech was real. It was real honest, very transparent. She was letting the people know, look, I've been through some stuff, not just today, but this entire week. I've been through some things. Suave was about to get up there because I think Suave felt like she was about to go in on him, but it wasn't. Even though some things could have been directed to him, it wasn't directly about him. So I love that he went ahead, stepped back, and allowed her to speak her piece, and the crowd literally went wild. They appreciated what she was saying, and it made Aja look good because they was like, okay, what are we gonna do for the D? We gotta step up. We've been here in the D for so long. Let's make it make it a place where people want to come through and represent and be a part of the D. So Aja Salon would definitely be a place that they could feel comfortable with going to and being a part of the team. So I love she did her thing with that one on the
Okay.
fly because she had nothing written down.
That part. Now, Tamika, I want you to talk about the other person that was in the room that seemed to be feeling the effects of this speech too, which was Moni, because you could kind of see that she was feeling this too, and I think it had something more so to do with the friendship of Aja and God, why I just can't think of Diarra of Aja and Diarra, and kind of a reflecting back on their friendship that they used to have. What did you think about it as you were looking at that?
Yeah, I was kind of confused at first, like when she put down her coat and left. I mean, first when she just was looking at her giving the speech, she was looking like she was, nervous and scared of what she was gonna say, just like I was. Because honestly, we know everything she been through and her rushing there, but then it kind of almost looked like if she was drunk or something. As the people in the audience, that's what I would have thought if I didn't know what she had already been through. And then when we see her again, and she's saying the part about how Aja is, really gonna be bringing something to Detroit, and she's this entrepreneur and she's happy for her, and a good friend. I was like, well, is she feeling like, Aja and her have more relationship and is more of a friendship with them too? Is she feeling like a multitude of things, like she's not an entrepreneur, she hasn't really did maybe accomplish things in her life that she wanted to? I didn't know if it was like a mixture or if it was just mainly that part, but you definitely could see that she kind of, to me, felt like this is not where I'm supposed to be. Like, you know what I mean? This is not the place for me. I don't fit in here. This is her and her thing that she has with Aja. Let me go ahead and put her coat down and get my behind out of here. Because even the way she just looked back at everybody else that was there and then walked out.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Tika, anything to add to that part?
Yeah, I mean, not really, but I do agree with what Tamika was saying. It's almost as if Moni was feeling out of place. Again, Moni is in that spot, that space in her life where she's really trying to find herself, trying to find, who she really is. So she felt, out of place. So that's why she was kind of standing back. And then I'm sure she was thinking, girl, I'm going through the rafters with you, and you can't give me no acknowledgement. You know how some people kind of, I'm here, but not really, But it wasn't the time and place for Diarra to really direct anything towards Moni. This moment was about Aja. And so, we'll see next week what the real reason behind Moni and her, her kind of disposition in this moment. But again, I just felt like Moni is trying to find herself, and today, at this second, in this environment, it's not the time for you to worry about you. Like it's about Aja at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that this was definitely her feeling like a slight jealousy of a relationship that they lost. You know what I'm saying? Because we know that they lost a lot of time, they lost a lot of years, and clearly in that time frame, Aja and Diarra became friends because Swa and Aja are related. So they've grown this friendship, and it almost feels like she is kind of like, that was supposed to be my best friend. Those are words that you were supposed to say about me. That's how we were supposed to be. That's kind of what I got from just the way she was looking. Um, you know, it just felt like there was just this. It was just interesting how they shot that. How there were all these different feelings going on. And I really appreciated that because you could really feel each individual one as you're watching it. So they did a good job on that. All right. So all is good. Let's talk about Swa and Diarra because Tamika, we found out more information about these two. What did you think about this conversation, and kind of talk us through this conversation?
Yeah, this is one of the moments that made me feel like what I was saying when we first started, that if they really communicate with each other, like she's having her realizations of things, because of course he came first saying that was quite an interesting speech or whatever, and she's like, he said, I guess it's the truth, and she said, can you handle more truth? And he's like, I guess so. Of course, this is when she's saying that she played her part in the things that happened in their relationship as well. It wasn't just on him, and how much she wanted a child, and even though she worked with the kids, they're not her kids. This is something she wanted for herself. And she was saying something about how all he had to do was go and take these tests, I think it was, and he said he did. But then she started being like, no, you didn't go to my specialist, you went to the guy your friend with the dandruff. It's like, huh? I don't know if but he was like, oh, because you don't feel like he's a real doctor and he has dandruff. I just feel like that's stuff that they could get past. But the main thing was that she was letting him know, like, I did do some things in this too. You didn't just do it by yourself. And then she actually says that, Chris is not who she thought he was, and Francois is not who she thought he was, and that she's even finding out things about herself, and maybe not going in the direction or becoming who she wants to be, or knowing herself fully. So I guess she was having her aha moment in terms of just all of it. It was interesting to me too when he was like, well, don't walk away from me, we in the middle of a conversation, you still my wife. And she was like, no, I'm not. I'm like, oh.
I thought that was very interesting because he's made it very clear that, he's the one who served the divorce papers first. She didn't go and file for the divorce. He's kind of already been flaunting around with this other chick. He took money away from her. He know goodness darn well she needed that money. Like, don't play. You knew that. So I don't know if this is like Swa trying to get her attention. You know how some people do things to try to make you have a reaction. Like, I really don't know if that's what it is, but it just feels like something. But I do feel like there's still a deep connection there, and that there's still a lot of love there. Even the way he goes up and wants to save her from this speech that she's about to get, I don't really think it's all about him being embarrassed in any way, even though they were amongst a lot of their friends that, relationships that they've had, when she was with him, like people that she knew from him. I don't think it was all about that. Sometimes I think he just wants to save her almost. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I did feel that way too. I felt like he thought he was gonna save her, and I felt like you said about the speech, some parts seemed like they was towards him, some was about Audra, some was about her. So she was like, "Oh, would have been a good idea if I would have wrote stuff down," and then she was kind of able to bring it all together and make it make sense. But when she was saying those parts, he was kind of like looking at her and looking down, like he was thinking about what she's saying. He knew what time it was.
Mhm. Absolutely. Tika, your thoughts on this conversation and this couple in general?
They better off as friends when they can get to the friendship level. There's some things that she want that he doesn't want. Again, if he really wanted them to have a child, he would have did what she asked him to do. Saw the doctor, whatever the case may be. But it's, I guess, maybe yeah, he's I with that moment where y'all are saying that he tried to save her, I don't see it as him trying to save her. I see it as him always trying to speak for her, because in the beginning we see where he was trying to speak for her, or he was speaking for her, not really allowing her to have her voice. So I'm glad that when she saw that he stepped up, she found her voice within the speech and was able to say what it is that finally she felt she needed to say. But then the conversation between the two of them at the end, I'm just like, okay, either y'all gonna make it or y'all gonna go y'all separate ways. But at this point, Diarra is definitely wrapped up in a man that don't want to be wrapped up in. Sometimes we think he don't, and then, i.e. Chris. Of course, she still has feelings for her husband, but she knows that it's not going to work because, again, they're on two different paths. But I do love the transparency. She wasn't afraid to tell him how she felt, and he was willing to listen. So I appreciated the entire conversation. They look good together. I mean, he looked good by himself, but you know,
Donnie down.
but I see them better off as those exes that can eventually become friends.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, okay, I'm gonna go away from that picture. That man is just fine, y'all. I'm sorry. That is one handsome ass man.
It's definitely the pose for me.
Okay, like just the skin, the like no matter what he play in, even when he
Mm-hmm.
played in that doggone show, whatever it was with the little chick, I don't know, it's like some cop show. I don't know what it was. But anyway, that show, I was okay, anyway, I went off subject. But yeah, that man is just fine.
It's Morris
Okay.
Chestnut. You can't help but have the conversation.
Okay, girl,
Mm-hmm.
'cause that is not Ricky Morris Chestnut. I'm telling you, that's that transition. When he
Okay,
transitioned and he came to the best man, Morris Chestnut, that's a
right.
whole different Morris Chestnut.
He
Mm-hmm.
definitely has aged backwards.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
girl, Lord have mercy. Miss Kira said, "Fine."
Mm-hmm.
So y'all, we gotta get to it. We gotta get to it because now, she's been having these conversations with Chris, and she's just like, was this all just a setup? Basically, did we go on a date because you was trying to, blackmail this lady? She doesn't know. She doesn't know him. Like, they put a bug in her ear, and now she's feeling a little different about Chris/Deontay. Like, she just doesn't know. And so she has this conversation, and then that's when she realizes that she has seen her, and that's what I think you, Artika, was talking about earlier, where she realizes that she's seen her, and it's coming full circle for her, and they saw each other in the restaurant and all that stuff. And now that we know that she's a mob fixer, I mean, this all is getting way more interesting. Why is Chris trying to blackmail a mob fixer? You know what I mean? Like, what is really going on?
Right.
So anywho, so we went through all of that just to get to the point where she realizes that she needs something that's real, something that she can actually, that's tangible, that she can actually feel. And there comes danger. What did y'all think about that, Tamika?
I mean, I ain't mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all. It was funny though when she first came in the house, child. I thought somebody was gonna be like waiting for her in the daggone house, but thank God it wasn't, and she was able to be in her thoughts. And then when she looked down at that little patch he gave her, I guess that's what gave her the idea. Like, let me go ahead and send him a text. Okay, 911 emergency. I need to sleep.
Okay.
I was like, okay. I'm talking about, you text me, you want to come in for a drink? Listen, I'm not mad at it.
Okay.
Danger.
Okay. So if Chris is ambient, I wonder what danger is. He like a Z-Quil or something?
He gonna be that all natural melatonin.
Okay, maybe that's what it is, girl. I don't know. But okay, so let's move to this part right here. So we know that there was some talk about the Zeus construction. This is Tank right here. Now that we know his name, this is Tank. And this is the missing guy. So now that we know that this is the guy who's missing, it kind of answers a little bit of the questions that we had when he was at the restaurant and somebody knocked on the door, and we now know that that was the mob, the Greek, Mr. Greek them, the Greek mob, and they got him somehow. I don't understand. Never mind. I ain't even gonna try to figure that part out. Anyway, somehow they got him, right? And they're trying to figure out. Everybody's trying to figure out who Diarra is. Where are we going, y'all? Like, what's your thoughts, Tika? Because I am so on edge with this show right now.
Yeah, well, when Diarra was, of course, we remember the mob fixer. She took that picture of Diarra at the rendezvous, and clearly she's working with these guys because they're trying to figure out who Diarra is, and he finally tells her last name. So it's like I said at the beginning, Diarra done stepped in some deep boo boo, and I don't know what's next because this guy is not playing around. He crushing the skulls. He got folks tied up in plastic and chains, and oh man, I don't know what's the next fate for Diarra. This blew me because I did not think that they were gonna do what they did to him. I thought it was gonna be okay. We're gonna get the experience of the whole torture situation. I did not think they was gonna send his skull bye bye. Like, I was like, wait, what? So I don't know. Diarra need to run. she need to run.
Yeah, and there was a conversation that Velvet has with Danger. Remember, she says something about it was beneficial. I don't think you're doing me a favor because it helps you too, or something like that. So now we have Danger, who's kind of in the middle of this as well, and now we're about to start sleeping with Danger. Mr. Z-Quil, all natural melatonin. We're about to sleep with him, and I don't know, y'all. Like, I just feel like this is getting worse and worse for Diarra, and she's in the middle of a divorce, and you know what I'm saying? Like, you got a lot going on. So, And then it brings me back to who the heck was that body that was at the very beginning. Like, it's a lot, y'all. So, Tamika, talk about this scene. Talk about any thoughts, theories you got. There's that word Zervis construction because that was
Oh,
mentioned.
Zervis. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Daria definitely got a lot to worry about. Russian mob, Greek mob, gangster cops. The list is getting longer and longer. And this could be, her being in jeopardy, people that's close to her being in jeopardy is, yeah, it's gonna be really messy. I felt bad for Tank because I mean he was telling him the truth and he like, oh, it sounds like the truth to me. At the end of the day, he didn't get to do anything because she interrupted and then he was looking into her just like they was looking into her. Everybody's trying to figure out, who is this girl? Where's she coming from? He's thinking she's down with them and he's like, I didn't have nothing to do with this. But, that's the end of him. Yeah,
But
and then when they find out and find him like that, then what was her name? Velvet, Violet.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, she gonna be pissed off, and that's gonna be answers that she gonna be wanting. So I'm very curious to see where all of this is gonna go. Child, listen, Zaria, you in danger, girl. You definitely. And then she did say something about not only did she need to sleep, but she needed to be G'd up. So I guess she feel like danger can be a protection to her because she said the way she said it was like she didn't know what was about to be happening to her next, so it would be a good thing for her to be G'd up. So he definitely about to be in the mix of it.
Absolutely. So question for y'all. Do y'all think it was Velvet or Danger that was on the phone who Tank was talking to? Which one do y'all think it was?
I'm gonna say I think it was Velvet.
Okay. Tika, who you think it was? Velvet or Danger?
Yeah, I think it was Velvet because for me, I think that had it been Danger would have came and said something to her, maybe like kind of warn her, like you're moving kind of sloppy, you need to like pull back. Whatever it is that you're doing, you need to pull back. But so again, I felt like it was Velvet that he was on the phone with, but now Velvet might be a man down situation. So
Absolutely. So that was the end of the episode, y'all. Like I said, each week I'm more and more on edge, and I do actually got to go back and look at the after show talk. Um, I like to do our things first before I go look at it because last time when I did the first few episodes, I looked at that and then I came and did the talk. But I want to do our talks first, and then I'm gonna go back and look at those
right.
because I like after talk things. Those are just always so good to me. That's what I used to love about what was that show, y'all, with the
Power?
dragons and stuff?
Oh, the other one.
That one and Power too. Power was another one that did it too. But that's what I loved about those. But anyway, y'all, like I don't know what's gonna go down with DR, but I'm here for it. I think we got 8 episodes total. I think we're on episode 5, if I'm not mistaken. So 3 more episodes to kind of hopefully see what the heck was happening from at the very beginning of the first episode. Who knows? Hopefully it's not Chris, but who knows at this point. Might be. So anyway, y'all, yeah, so that's what's up with this episode. Let me know what y'all got going on y'all's channels and all that good stuff. Tika, start with you and then Tamika.
Okay, so in the midst of grandma duties, I'm gonna try to pump out my the Dirty D videos, my Dirty D catch ups. This is Dirty D streaming from Tubi. Then of course on Wednesday we do have the Ruthless Roundtable, your number one source for Ruthless exclusives. And we don't have Ruthless anymore, so I'm gonna have to. I think there's a show that I would love to talk about. It's called Parish, starring something as Gio Escovedo. It looks really really
Oh,
good.
that's
Something
good. I'm
something
loving it
dangerous.
so far.
So yeah, I think I want to talk about that next. But that's what I have going on so far. I'm
Mhm.
slowing down a little bit. I was on my vacation last week, and this week I'm on grandma duty. So I'm gonna try to enjoy it while I can, and then she get to go back to her daddy and her mama. But that's about it for me.
I know
That's
that's
about
right.
it. Thank you for having me once again, EJ. And again, thank y'all for the birthday love. Your girl went back and rewatched it and was crying like a big old baby because y'all showed me so much love. And I absolutely appreciate it. And definitely, Candy Love, happy birthday to you, girl. I got your 2.2 minutes and something second video. I appreciate you for that too.
Girl, wasn't it long though?
Yes, but I loved it. I loved it.
Talking about why you didn't play the whole thing, girl, because your video was 2 whole minutes and
Right.
some change.
Right.
But that's my girl.
Hey, Miss
Happy birthday to
Sharon.
you, Miss Candy Love. We love you.
Yes, happy birthday.
No problem, Miss Sharon. Definitely go and catch the replay for sure. Make sure to type in hashtag replay if you are watching this on the replay. Tamika, I know you have been on a little bit of a break, which is not typical of you, but we are glad you're getting some rest. But what do you have coming up?
BMF tomorrow with the ladies. That's really gonna be the last thing that I'm gonna be doing for this week. But if y'all go to my channel, I did do a self-care Saturday. I had the privilege of interviewing my cousin who has a foundation, a Mother's Love and Beyond, which focusing on single parents and autism, and this is her first annual foundation, so we got to talk about that and do positive affirmations and all that good stuff. And then I also did my What You Should Be Watching, giving y'all the breakdown of some movies and TV shows to check out this month. And then I did my own recap of BMF, but that's pretty. And I'm gonna be going for the week, first time ever break.
Okay, that's what's up. No, you deserve a break, girl. You definitely deserve a break. But I know when you come back, you're gonna be on top of it.
Yeah, when
Thank
we
you
get
so much,
back,
Lemon
we're gonna
Kush
be on and
Pepper.
pop.
Okay. Thank you so much, Lemon Kush Pepper, for coming through. We definitely appreciate you. Miss Sharon for coming through. Miss Kira Speaks, thanks for tapping in. Girl, you're going to have to, at some point, you're going to have to come up on the channel so that we can have a conversation. I still don't think we've had you on, I don't think I've had you on my channel. So definitely got to come through. Candy Love, girl, we appreciate you. Queen, thanks for coming through. Avante, thank you. Appreciate you. Dairy B, always a pleasure. Shayna, thank you for coming through. Queen, Daria, thank you guys. We appreciate you guys so much. As for me and my channel, the my BMF, I did put that up. I do have my Ruthless finale review, as well as the episode before that I forgot that I did, and it just sat there, but I did put it up anyway. We are going to have our ladies, our BMF talk tomorrow with the ladies. Movie night is not this week. That's going to be the week after next, because we did movie night this week. And then I think I have my family business rewatch that I'm going to be doing, and I got to do another family business video. I want to get it done this week, but I don't know if I'm going to get it done this week. But just talking about the new show and the characters on that show, and then I think that's about it for now. And y'all don't forget to check out Tika's other channel as well. She does have another channel. She didn't talk about that one tonight, but definitely check out the other channel. And then I also have a new channel that I'm working on as well. So go ahead, Tika. What'd you say?
No, I was just saying thank you, EJ, because your girl will forget, but you got my back. I appreciate that.
No worries. But anyway, y'all, we are going to check you guys later. Once again, always a pleasure. We appreciate you guys, and we will talk to you guys on sometime this week, and we'll talk about Diarra next week. So y'all make sure y'all go back and rewatch, because there's a lot of people saying they got to go back and rewatch the show. Go back and rewatch it. We all gonna have to go back and rewatch it so we can see what we missed. But yeah, we'll talk to you guys later. Until next time, guys. Peace.
Bye-bye.
I'll be trying to find my outro. There you go.